They're going to do what they do. So they love watching it over there. And then we record it every week too. And then when I record it, you can certainly watch it there as well. So I'm going to make sure I start recording now. Thank you so much for sharing your Wednesday night with me. This is Afro Economics Live, and I have panelists that I have promised that they can eat, that they can do whatever they have to do, because they know I talk a lot. And y'all gonna be asking me questions, and they have volunteered to share their beautiful and handsome face with us tonight. And Pat with the Afroeconomics team is going to be sending you some messages and taking notes and anything that you need. I want you to know that I want to communicate. So Pat, if you see something, you go ahead and tell me, oh, so and so wants to know blah 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 blah. As long some of y'all like send me um paragraphs. I'm like, how is somebody type that? Y'all type so fast with the phone. So I am impressed. Well, we have Ms. Ramadan as a panelist that you can't see, but her mic is open. And then also Mr. Hollis. Say hi, Mr. Hollis.
Hello, everyone.
He
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, indeed. He is the original King Hollis. I told you about there's somebody else on social media named King Hollis. I was like, but he is after you. You are the original King Hollis. So there, he motivates veterans every day and motivates us. Haven't had the chance to be a veteran. He motivates me with his commitment to excellence. And Jenny Jones, I just saw her on social media with this great big turkey teaching everybody how to cook it. And I said, oh my goodness, Miss, could you possibly be on my panel tonight? So, Jenny, thank you so much. Give us one of your quick turkey tips. What is the key to my turkey that I'm going to put in the oven in the morning? What's the key to my turkey success?
Well, even if you can't cook, if you throw a little bit of rosemary on there, it'll make anyone turkey taste good, even if you're not good.
Well, you should have told me that like yesterday, I guess, when I got where did
Rosemary is your secret.
look, well, there's no rosemary in my closet. But you know what? But you know what? I have a blend. I have a brining blend that of organic herbs, and I'm gonna check and make sure that they have rosemary in my blend. And it'll be like this, and then it will have Jenny Jones approved
Well,
blend for my rosemary, indeed. And then we have Miss Ramadan, who's coming up on video for us. She is a coach extraordinaire, parent coach, leadership coach, educator coach, just a coach. She's just a coach. She's a coach. I bet you even coach basketball. Did you ever coach basketball with those two tall sons you have?
I sure did. Basketball and track. I mean, basketball and soccer.
You just coach, born to coach. Exactly. That's so positive. I remember when they needed a basketball coach for at the Y for my daughter's team, and I know nothing, zero about basketball.
that's
Do y'all see
me.
this? Do y'all see this? Do you see the Cowboys jersey? You see this? That's because Mike said that they're playing tomorrow. I know nothing about that either. I forgot to have my jersey on. I know somebody's out there like, why in the world would she have that jersey on? I don't think they're having a good season. Are they having a good season, Mr. Hollis?
No.
But I am not. I am not that type of person. I have been a Cowboys fan since the beginning of my life. Like my brother got rid of his Cowboys football uniform, and that became my Cowboys uniform. You know what I'm saying? We just played around with it. It became like in the toy box. So definitely, definitely Cowboys for life. That's it. Just is what it is. So,
Well, see
but
that their quarterback, the quarterback got injured the first part
uh,
of the year.
yeah, I think I remember that. I remember that. It was like the leg, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's pretty bad. That was
So
pretty bad.
he's out for the rest of the year.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. But we're gonna keep on representing. I got you, Cowboys. You know, because they would do the same for me. So we're talking. Yes, they would. I bet. I bet they're out there watching me right now. Yes, they are. You laughing just a little too hard. So my question tonight, if I'm allowed to, as host, to ask questions, is that I wonder when I'm thinking about generational wealth. So we have a couple of things to talk about because I want to make sure that I acknowledge the fact that my stock market is reaching record highs. Like we have overcome since the COVID huge dip. So, today the market was down ever so slightly if we use the Dow as our index, but, we are looking healthy. And yesterday, the Dow crossed the the 30,000 number mark. It's not dollars. It's just 30,000. It's the index number. But the Dow, of course, is made up of only 30 stocks representing different industries. It's the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but that is used as a market indicator. But it's reaching new record highs in the middle of a pandemic. So there's some positive things that are going on, but yet today some not so positive things started happening, like the unemployment numbers were a little bit higher than what they expected. But there were some good things that happened this week. Like what? What was some good things that happened this week?
Because of Biden was one thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because they realize, we have a new president that's coming in, and that was the one thing. And I guess because now we have they're looking at we now have let someone else talk.
Why? I mean, no, that's a valid point because they were wondering how long was it going to go on, the strife between, if Trump was going to concede, or at least, if there was going to be some sort of transition, or somebody was going to come, something was going to break this. And
well, he's never going to concede.
Yep.
He's never going to do that.
And
he's going to just let it slide.
Well, he's conceded, and now he's starting letting people out of jail, so that's concession. when you start letting your friends out because you got to get your posse right, you good.
Well, he's making room for himself.
You know what I'm saying? And the first person he let out was a man that knows how to use a gun. So you stop talking about that man. No, I'm just joking. But it is funny. Like, he let that general out first. He's like, y'all stop playing. Like, they like, y'all stop picking on me. I'm building my army. Nah, I'm just joking. They're gonna be fine.
Well, this is true. He is building his army. Everyone he has let out was a crook.
Yeah.
They were in jail.
Everyone.
Cronies.
And Flynn is guilty.
He is guilty.
Yes.
He admitted that he's
guilty.
guilty.
He is guilty.
Yes.
He said, I never said I wasn't guilty. He admitted guilt, but he knew he had people in high places. But look, there's a whole bunch of people who are guilty that are out. I mean, whoa. A lot of the difference between guilt and innocence in many cases, in the overwhelming majority of cases, is what? Money. What we're talking about. Wealth. When you have the money to get the representation and a good lawyer, as I was talking about that young brother in New York that stayed in prison for years. And got out and killed himself because it was so dramatic, was over $1,000 his family didn't have to make bail for him. $1,000. So, wealth, wealth. So when we're talking about like family wealth, the key to it is about communication. How many of you families are actually have everybody sitting around, like just listening, just, talk, just promoting conversation about money, politics, all of this is so powerful for us, but it's so much easier to turn off this discussion and seeing these role models, in front of you, that It's so much easier to just, turn on the news and, and hear about, the weekend being skipped over for a Grammy, and everything, and Beyonce being a leading pick for the Grammys, and things like that, and forgetting about the reality that we all live in. The reality that we all live in is how are we going to adapt, even them, because we see many superstars who get serious exposure, are rich for a very long time, and die very broke. I mean, how many superstars do we have? Like Whitney Houston dying with financial stress, Michael Jackson dying under financial stress of having to do that concert. I mean, we look like historically, I mean, Afroeconomics, this is a real issue about getting a generational understanding of money. Because Mr. Jackson, their dad could teach them a lot of things, but he had been broke for so long working at the plant that as that money came in to his kids, it was hard for him to teach them the discipline that was required for their kids to slow down. So when a whole bunch of money hits a generation that knows nothing about money, what happens?
They spend it
Actually, they
all.
don't know how to handle it.
They get drug habits. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? They
Mhm.
they don't have the discipline that is required to have sustainable wealth. You know, they don't know how, I mean, it is amazing if the Jackson family had had the proper guidance and a person that was in the family that really had an understanding of how to build an empire, the amount of talent that they had in that family, what they could have accomplished together. But once the mindset gets distracted, once I know that everybody that's been a parent has seen this. Once these outside issues they start coming into what you're trying to build, and they redirect your child from what your idea of what we're trying to build here for generations to come is done. Like think about like out in England where that prince, they have this legacy. Like this prince is not supposed to move over to Canada or wherever they moved over to. Like that's not supposed to happen. That's outside of what their generational stacking is supposed to do. So they probably had to go through some sort of order, like, well, what you're going to do. They probably had to come up with some lump sum of money to give him because he had to move out of the family network that they had developed. So many of you and not enough of us not really need to start thinking about how do I want to pass on my wealth? How do I want to make sure that all of this effort that I put in, all this effort that you put into your work, how it is actually handled? I remember this one member, she went to do an international trip for mission, and when she got back, she got a really bad virus that her body could not handle. And then all of her money that she had just had a regular job, but she had saved some money, was to go to her daughter who had married someone who had no sense at all. So they come into my office, and the husband told the daughter, just sign the papers, take it all out, which created a huge taxable event at that moment. And I said, well, it would be a better idea. These are some options that we could do in order to keep the money growing tax deferred, and blah, 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 blah. Or let's pay some of those taxes, or, just looking at options. He didn't want to pay any taxes, didn't want anything. He just wanted her to get all of the money and get it now. I know if I did follow up, which of course I didn't because she's no helping her, that she has no money now. And that was about 20 years ago or more, that she has none now because he had no plan. Would you agree with me that the number one thing for generational wealth is that you have to have a plan? My panelists, would you all agree?
I'll agree.
Absolutely.
Yes, I totally
Yes.
agree.
I'll agree.
Even if it doesn't work out the way you planned, having the plan is still better. Correct? It's
That's
still
true.
better than not having the plan. And so many people, just don't have the plan. And then the next thing is, in that plan, make sure that it includes having assets, investing in assets that create wealth over time. Because you have to have a plan that's saying, I am buying this, even if it's an insurance policy, you know, that many times we heavily, heavily focus on the insurance policy and think that that's the key. The challenge with the insurance policy strategy is, even if you had $1 million insurance policy and the legacy is supposed to just inherit that, they're going to inherit $1 million, $2 million out of the insurance. The disadvantage, what do you think could be the disadvantage to that?
Getting it all at one time.
That getting it all at one time, so they never got the education, not the degrees, the money education. See, that when your children see you earning something, building something, saving something, saying no to something, you know what I'm saying? That when they see you putting out that effort, they're getting that investment education. When you tell them that, in order to build this, I had to do this and this and this. Even if you're explaining to them that for me to give you this $2 million life insurance policy, the rationale is I'm saving. It might be costing you $500 a month for that, but you're doing it as a tax strategy so that they can inherit it because of the tax law changes, because of retirement accounts for a non-spousal inheritance. It could be something like that, but you have to tell them so that this inexperienced family member does not waste your money. Because they're not like, I think I've told some of you about one of our members, and she's young, and then she inherited all of this money from one of our members who passed away unexpectedly. And she's about 30 years younger than him. And she was taking him to the hospital, and he gave her specific instructions on what to do if anything happens to me. And he was just going in there for a regular visit. And guess what he told her to do?
Call you.
Call JB Bryan. Do exactly what JB tells you to do. And I'm not even making that up. I wish he was logged in here today that she would tell you. That's what he told her to do. And then she did it. But in the process, she also knew me because he had brought her to several meetings with me. So what he was doing was educating her on, this young woman is going to inherit a lot of money one day. But if I don't teach her this, if she doesn't, he didn't even know what he was doing. He was just such a wise person. But if I don't show her this, or she doesn't meet this person, then she's not going to have the tools or the mindset that she needs to manage this. And then also we have a member who, when she wasn't even old enough to inherit it, her mother passed when she was real young. So when she reached as an adult, the money automatically became hers. And my first thing, her pastor brought her to me. What a blessing to have a pastor like that. And he said that you need to talk. So I started explaining to her what we were going to have to do in order for this money to make her life different. If not, it is going to be pulled. So she started getting requests from cousins and aunts and other living parents and things like that, asking for money from her. And I tried to explain to her how hard it is to ever accumulate this kind of money and how many years it takes to this how to get to get this type of money accumulated, and what your mother sacrificed, and the wisdom that this young woman must have had to do this for her little teeny baby. And what a blessing it was that it couldn't be touched until she was older. Mm. But she does follow what I suggest. You know, if not, she would not be able to do the things that are needed to do to get her to where she could get, so that she will never be broke. And that's a process that takes a long time. So as you're accumulating the things that you say, you have real estate, and you know, I'm getting this real estate and I'm going to be giving this to my nieces and nephews and this and this and that, don't think that they're going to automatically, because you leave this to them, inherit your wisdom on that.
Exactly.
Amen. That's right.
Exactly.
Right. They're not there. They're not there, right, Mr. Hollis? They're not
You're
there.
right about that.
When you think about all the friends that you have, that their kids have wasted away money they never enjoyed, because they were busy working and accumulating it. And where's that shift? It's like, if you look at the research, generally money is lost by that second generation. Going through the second generation, the money is lost. So it doesn't even get to the third generation. That's how hard it is to get our mindset right. So when I think about racism, I remind myself that biblically, that's not what will hold me back. Because the word says that knowledge of God is what will hold me back. So I know that as long as I keep the faith, that I will get where I'm supposed to get, regardless of what type of system or politics or discrimination or anything that comes my way. I know that my investment in knowledge of doing the right thing by things that come through my hands, that I will be okay. But the lack of discipline always is that a fool and his money shall soon part. You want to see somebody get broke? Let a foolish person win the lottery. It's just, they're done. It's done. And most people, unfortunately, that win the lottery must be fools, right? Because they end up broke. How you get all that money, you know what I'm saying? And you end up broke. But it's because keeping it, sustaining it is the hard part. It is very hard, isn't it, Mr. Hollis, to tread water? Isn't it
Yep.
easier to just swim, like keep moving forward, than it is to like stay in this
Yep.
place? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that amazing? And people don't realize that. Like, so you go, oh, I got this. I'm good. I'm good. No, you're not, because the cost of things is always going up. Inflation. So you can't inherit $1 million and think you're set for life. $1 million represents to me only $40,000 to $50,000 in income. That's all it represents. And if that's from a retirement account, then that 40 to 50, you still got to pay taxes on. And then we got to make sure that we perform more than 4 or 5% return on the money. The amount of money that is required to make a serious change in a person's lifestyle is so much greater than what people think it really is. Because we live in this debt-driven society where it's like people borrow money. So when you borrow money and make payments, it makes you think that you're richer than you are. It makes you think you're rich, and you're not. You're just living on a payment plan. And by the time you actually finish making those payments, what you bought is worth nothing. Think about it. It's just like, the person, they're going to buy this $1 million house and they pay for it over 30 years. And then by the time they own it over the 30 years, what? $1 million house is nothing. They're like, what? It's nothing. You need a roof. You don't have no elevator. Your elevator's broken. You're this and that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to live there. The neighborhood's gone down.
Yeah.
There are many, many areas where $1 million property is nothing.
You're
right.
right. You're absolutely
Not
right.
nothing, so let's stay in tune with the reality of just because you have all these things does not mean that you have something to actually pass on. Having assets, like having a car and the car has a payment, that's no inheritance. Having a house and the house has a mortgage, that's no inheritance. It might come down to your shoes and your purse, but you might have a credit card balance. So that ain't an inheritance. Isn't that something? So I think a key part of protecting your wealth and building wealth is for us to establish a lifestyle of humility and not flaunting. Like we don't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. Then all of a sudden, you start really getting into a good position. Because I remember when I used to have all of these things and stuffs and payments and, what I mean, things that made me look so rich, and all you have are just these payments and stuff that is entertainment and flattering. Look at that. And flattering to people. Like, I put the eyeliner on and I like wrote it. And it's entertaining to other people, but it's not, it's pulling you away from purchasing assets that actually do something for you. If we take, when is the last time you all took the time to just look through your bills, to just look at like your cell phone bill? So over the last 2 days, I've been working hard on looking at why my cell phone bill is so big. Have you ever done that? Like, just have a bill and the bill is big, and then you go, I'm going to figure out why this bill is so big. Have you ever done that? Like,
Yes.
just, so you've done that. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be rich, do what people that don't have money do. Because when you do stuff like that, people look at you like, what's wrong? You ain't got no money. You need some money. That's the way all of us should be at carrying ourselves. It's crazy. Why do we think it's okay to waste money? It is not okay to waste money. I don't have one multimillionaire client that will allow one extra dollar to be taken from their account. Not one extra dollar. And they've got it to spare. If it's a mistake, they gonna point it out. Oh, JB, that's so and so and so. You know what I mean? Oh, blah blah blah. No, if I say, I mean, millions, millions. If I say, oh, your membership is free from now on because we set up their brokerage account and da 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 da, and they pull another $30 out of their account. See what happens. See what happens. See what happens. They know it. They know it. And I'm like, I put it back. I caught it. It won't happen again. It won't happen again. It is now, no, your membership is now included in your assets under management. You won't have not one more. That is the goal for everyone. I want everybody to have the complimentary membership, because of the assets under management. But I'm just saying that I admire doing what I do for a living has saved me financially. Because when I first started, when I was young into the career, Mr. Hollis, I used to be like a show off. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because that's what everybody told me to do. I was, I started the business because I don't have no bills. That's how I could start the business, right? People will
Right.
go, why don't you have a car that represents what you do? Why don't you have so and so? So I started doing foolish things, going out buying expensive cars.
Did
And
you buy a
everybody,
Bentley?
and everybody was happy but me. No,
You didn't.
no.
You didn't
I
buy a
know,
Bentley?
right? At least I won't that crazy. I don't even I don't even live near a Bentley dealership. Probably if they did, I would have probably tried to. But I am not. You know what I mean? I'm not even impressed with that. But if you start saying, what am I supposed to do? Or this whole fake it till you make it. You know what I mean? I believe that is the biggest lie ever
Hate
told in
that
business.
term. I hate that
Hate it.
term.
Right?
I hate
Right?
that term. I
I'm
really
like,
do.
make it. Make it, never fake it. That's my reverse of it. I was sitting in a business meeting and this brother, he got up and I didn't know he hadn't been in business as long as me because sometimes you assume just because somebody is old and in business that they've been in business forever. But no, he had retired and he's just foolish minded, just a fool. Ain't not, it's crazy. I can't stand an old fool. So he
Mm.
stood up and he told these young people, wow, what you gotta do is fake it till you make it. Get you so and so. Blah, 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 blah. And I was about to tear him up, but at least I was wise enough to know this is where a young person shuts her mouth and just let the man say his point of view. But it just irked me because I was like, some brother is gonna listen to that, you know what I mean, and mess him up too. No, I mean, you don't have to go out there and finance it. If you want to fake it, then you just go to, this thrift shop or something, get you a nice used suit and look good and not have to owe anybody anything. But you don't have to go and finance and get some payment plan with some store credit card because you think you have to have a tailor. You don't have to have a tailor-made suit. You need to just look neat. You
I
just need,
agree.
you know what I'm saying? Own your clothes. What
Right.
if they started, what if they started like coming in and taking everything that you bought with a credit card back from you? I really think that that's what they should do. Like, you know how they foreclose a house? They should just come back. You didn't pay that credit card bill. Give me them shoes. Give me that coat. Give me that hair. Give me that, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
don't say that.
Take it all. Take it all. Just go in there and they just start grabbing it. You know what I'm saying? Like what you think? Oh, you don't want to pay the credit card? Oh, you don't want to pay the credit card? Like, you know what? It just start getting the stuff. Take the whole closet. I bet people, I bet people would take seriously. You know what I'm saying? They would take it seriously. Like that, you don't just go in there accepting it because of 10% off, and they get all of these new, you know, new cards because the store credit is giving you a discount. Every time they say that to me, I go, no, I'm good. No, I'm good.
That's me.
But, huh? What'd you say? I don't know. I thought somebody said something. How you doing, Miss Davis? I'm not.
JB,
Uh,
can you
yes.
check on Miss Ramadan? I think there's a problem with her mic still.
I thought I saw something going on. Thank you. You were like the Oh, it is. It like I think she went out and then it did that.
Yeah, I thought she was back.
And her internet might have done that. But I did
She
open the mic
switched devices and I thought she was back, but I don't think so.
and I need then I ooh, it's not easy because then it'll pop like every time I click her name and then it like shifts her somewhere else on the board. Cause we got so many people. You're coming back, Miss Ramadan. How you doing, Kimberlyn? I'm glad you agreed. Oh, Rosita, you checked your cable bill. Exactly, getting higher and higher. Ridiculous. Get them, get them, get them. So when I called the first time, Verizon hung up on me. I'm trying to open up your microphone, Rosita, so that I was in there and I was even talking to a client and the client meeting said, and I said, look, I'm on hold, and he said, okay. And then and then they said, okay, Ms. Bryan, I'll be right back with you. And then so, and then he heard me talking to my client. I had the Verizon on speakerphone. We're doing the Zoom. And I said, Verizon owes me money. And I got them on hold. And then the guy went click up and hung up. Hung up. So I
That's what
called
they
them
do.
back today and I said, what's your name? I started taking names this time. All right, Tris, we're going to break this down. I had a cell phone on my bill that I never had. I've never used this phone. Never, never. It was some phone number. I'm telling you, of a cell phone that I've been paying for, I don't know how long. And most of the reason why I've been paying for it is because Verizon would not update my email. Do you know how long I have been a customer of theirs? Just guess. Just guess what year I opened up an account with them
1995.
before then.
1987.
Wow.
1990.
Wow. You should have a
90.
thing.
I said, you probably weren't even born, sir. That's why he probably got mad at me yesterday. He hung up the phone. I said, what do y'all? I said, you're telling me because I have an old email, they will not let me go into the account online. So because of that, I'm not looking at, because I'm so like used to looking at everything online. No excuse, because I could have just opened up the envelope, look at the paper, but I just don't. So I just go into the accounts. So I look at, I could not believe that. I'm like, I've been paying for a telephone that doesn't exist. I said, ma'am, she said, well, we'll investigate. And then I had every time I would go into the store and get something else, they would keep what I had. So I had like 7 lines at $20 a piece, four only, and four of which were illegit, were not legitimate. My 5 cars that have been replaced that they were still charging for everything. I know they are terrible, Kimberlyn. And that's so sad. She said that sounds familiar. Like, so you're going in, you're buying something, and they promise you, we'll get rid of this one, right? They're leaving it on there. So please check yours. Please check yours. It was going up and up and up. And then it didn't have unlimited data. So then I discovered that my daughter was using too much data. You know what I mean? Everything. So I had, but they don't know. They don't know. So then I had to make that adjustment. I was like, they're a trip. I was like, you're getting paid from my Wi-Fi, which is Verizon, and you're getting paid from my mobile, which is Verizon. You're getting the mobile data and the Wi-Fi data. And you're just overcharging. You're winning both ways and won't even just update. So they said, oh, you got to do this and update the email. But I was like, no excuse. It's on me.
You would have been so proud of me this week.
I always am. And
I cut my car insurance completely in half.
beautiful, beautiful,
And I added on the homeowner's insurance.
beautiful,
And oh my goodness, it was like I
beautiful,
saved over $1,200 a year.
beautiful. I remember the first time we started working on that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. Now you
And
got
then I
addicted.
did it
Now
again.
you got
So,
addicted to it. Exactly. Good
oh
for
my
you.
goodness. And I did
Good for you.
Verizon. I'm getting ready to do health insurance. It's just amazing.
That's right. But we got to stay on it. We
Yeah.
got to stay on it. You have to get all over because we're so busy. We are so busy. And so we're trying to take care of business. You got to work. You literally have to like be at all the time in your life. Like, what is the most productive use of my time? You know what I'm saying? And then you have to do it. And everybody in the family has to be on one accord about that. It can't be, well, you know what? Why aren't you over here wasting time? You could be just sitting here. We could be watching you know what? Watch at 10 p.m. Watch something then till you pass out or something. But before 10 p.m., before the everything else closes down, do something productive for yourself and protect your wealth. Protect your wealth. We should turn everything off anyway. We should just sit there and look at each other until and it will help us pass on our positive habits to one another, because that's how your children will learn to be wealth developers, will learn to be bill conscious from listening to you do that, and not because you broke, but because you don't want to be broke. We got to do this because we don't want to be broke.
And that's interesting that you say that, JB, because I grew up where my father, I thought he was always trying to hustle somebody, but just being young, but he would always call and try to do just what you're saying,
Amen.
when it comes to different, like it's the, phone bill, the cell phone bills,
Good.
credit cards, always trying to get something reduced, always trying to get,
Good.
I would call it getting a deal. And I'm like, man, what is he doing? But I find myself doing the same things because, you
Yes,
can't
you do.
always take that stuff in black and white. You got to try to get something a little better. If you've been with
Yes,
them a long time, or I've always learned from being a young
yes,
girl, always ask to speak to the supervisor. If you're
yes,
not getting what you need, let me speak to your supervisor. And I just got that tickle behind it. But now I find
yes,
myself, I'm not getting what I want, instead of me trying to, and now you're dealing with a lot of foreigners when you
yes,
Oh
call.
my
yes,
God, that's true.
So you're
yes,
not even getting people, even,
yes,
speaking to a
yes,
supervisor is kind of like a third world, but all those things it does take into account because you're trying to keep your money.
yep. But
Right.
it's very, I mean, vital. And I have found service to be horrible during COVID. It's just horrible. Like with that guy that hung up on me yesterday at Verizon, it's probably because he's working from home.
He is working from home
You know what
because
I'm saying? And then,
you know
so he's like,
no one.
there's no way of getting back to him. You know what I'm saying? And
No,
then
because there's no
it's so,
one to hold him accountable.
yep. So continue to encourage them that there's going to be, and then show them how to be resilient. Like a lot of people would have allowed that which happened yesterday to totally deflect them and then put it on to a whole nother year of paying the bill unnecessarily. But I went right back at it. And I looked at this 60-minute special the other night, and it was talking about the key to a long life and avoiding dementia. And it was talking to like people over 90 that still had sound mind. And there was a lady that was over 100 and she was like communicating fine and everything. And they said that the key to it, they discovered, was resilience. It's that, so, addressing what happens in life calmly, like your spouse pass away, or whatever it is that comes, because people, as you age, you think about it. Somebody's 100 years old, they may have even lost their children. They may have lost their, you know what I mean? They definitely lost their parents. They lost, but they bounced back and they handled it calmly. If you lived to 100, you could have gone bankrupt. You could have gone to prison. You could have gone, you could have gone through a whole bunch of people dying, divorces. You know what I mean? But they're still there with a sound mind. They said it's because of resilience, not because of genetics, not because of their exercising, not because of it, but they're saying it comes from their mental attitude. You believe me, Miss Ramadan? You think so?
I
Mm.
do think so because there's so much power in our thoughts and our actions. I believe it. I believe it,
Yep.
definitely.
Yep. And then what you think, Mr. Hollis?
Yes, I believe in power of positive thinking.
Yes.
Power of
You,
positive thinking.
yes.
Because of the fact this is what's happening in our society today.
Mm,
A lot of people is letting somebody else do the power of positive thinking. They follow them.
mm,
Mhm.
yes.
That's
Oh, and
true.
whatever they say, then they accept that is true because of
Except, yeah,
that's what it said. And then that is so true. And then that's what holds a lot of us and our young people back. Like I remember, like, and I'm a good kid. Like I was never like the fuss back person or talk back to the teacher or anything. But I had several teachers in high school who told me I would never be anything, that I would never pass college English, who were very um combative, like attacked me. And I said nothing to them. Nothing. And I remember one of them that told me that. And when I went back 10 years later to be a graduation teacher, because we had Colonel Hawkins, one of our principal was a retired colonel from the military, and he took a liking to me. I remember when he wasn't principal, and he didn't see somebody that wasn't going to make it. And then when he started seeing me on TV, and I had just started my business, but they asked me to come. He said, just because this girl came out of this high school straight, like it wasn't the high school that the person was supposed to make it. Like our statistics were not in my favor. They're still not today. But I still believe in Petersburg High School. And I still believe in myself. I don't know what God's plan is for me, but I don't believe that there was any reason for a person to tell me that I wouldn't make it. That was crazy. So if somebody will say something like that to two college, both of my parents are college educated. One had a PhD. My dad had a PhD. You know what I mean? You're talking about, and then you're gonna tell that kid, like multiple, that she's not gonna make it. That is sick. So what if I had caught on to that? What if I had just grabbed that? That's the thing. I thank God for the resilience of, me ignoring that. But anyway, at graduation, by the time I came to graduate, to speak at that graduation 10 years after I graduated, she was on the school board. This person, and she said, Bryan, didn't I teach you? And you know how something like plays over and over in your mind. Like when I get a chance, I'm gonna tell her what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go up on that stage. I started to take that microphone and say, "Who got the microphone now? Who got the microphone now?"
But JB, I totally get it. I wasn't the greatest student, but I was multi-talented. I was very creative. School was very difficult for me.
That's right.
But life in general was very hard for me. I lost two husbands, but I didn't stop. Like I said, life was just not easy for me. But I pushed through life. I now live alone. It's not easy to live alone.
That's right.
But I can
you got that Chinese man. You got that Chinese man right there behind you.
But he ain't real. He ain't a real man.
you got what's his name? That's all right. You got Mr. Hollis. That's okay.
He ain't no real man.
Exactly. I'm gonna get you. Mr. Hollis gonna be up there. I'm gonna send you a picture of Mr. Hollis gonna be over there soon. All right. And you're gonna say that's a real man. Real man. But that's right. You are resilient, and it's your spirit. Like everything about you, you're like this. Your spirit is such a fighter, just thriver. No, you just anything. And then the sad part about that is because of that, people don't get that you have bad days too. You know what I'm saying? And we don't see that. Like we
you
really
would never
don't
know.
Yeah.
I smile. If nothing else, God gave me a smile. I walk in a door with a smile.
That's right. That's right. Miss Spencer said her guidance counselor told her, and she became an educator. Thank God. That her guidance counselor in high school told me I would knock college material. Wow. But another teacher saw more and made sure that I received what I am, man. And right, Miss Spencer, you retired teaching gifted students. That's amazing.
Wow.
Amen. The joke's on them. I know you would know exactly who I'm talking about too. You'd be like, she told you that. But for every teacher that told me I wasn't.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, indeed.
My question was, these white teachers that told you this?
No, it's black
because
teachers.
At one point,
wow. Black teachers. I know. That's how I was telling my daughter's white teachers one time, the white principal. I said, I remember when white teachers used to tell black kids they could do better.
Yes.
I was like, when they used to I was like, what is up with the white teachers not motivating black kids anymore? Like, that I was like, we got to do better. We need to go back to the day where you realize that black kids have a lot of potential. And I think sometimes people watch too much TV, or they look at too many statistics, that they don't believe that a child can turn around. Like, I know that Miss Demi, what she will tell you about, children that she works with that people had given up on, that she actually now have seen them get graduate degrees,
Exactly.
So, right, Demi?
Oh yeah, most definitely. My motto is, as long as they can breathe, they can improve.
Yes, indeed. That's
indeed. And you never give up on a child. Never.
So don't you be the person who allows your child to be less than they can be. So then your generational wealth is ended way too soon. Like the only way for our generational wealth to continue is from the mental mindset that we establish into our children. And you can't just send them to college and think that the school is going to make that work. Like we have to actually equip our children with understanding and being curious about learning, not just getting the grade, learning. Like, I like now I'm back in school because of the learning, not because of the letters, not because of the letters. I'll quit if I lose my mind and I think that I want to go to school just because it's impressing myself. That's a waste of my time. If I'm not going to do anything with my time that doesn't help me add more value to you. And out of me going into getting my PhD in management and 21st century finance, that's how our AfroEconomics business network became so important to me. Because I was like, I have these skills. I am learning this stuff. Share it. I'm not supposed to wait till, oh, I got these letters. Now I can share it. We know I'm going to do it every chance I can. I was telling one of my teacher from the class I just finished. I said that out of the structuring of this framework from your class is how I frameworked my business network that I'm going to do every week. Like this week, we're doing the 4 major frames of business or forms of business. This is the stuff we need. But because of that, I'm just saying that just to say that everything that we do is supposed to be for a purpose. So if you're going out to work and you're building this money and you're saving this money, it's got to have a purpose behind it. It's got to go beyond just because we want to buy the Bentley. Like Mr. Hollis was saying, it's got to be bigger than that. It's got to be because you're building a family business, or you're building an asset that will allow you to educate your children's children and your children's children's children so that they don't have to have the school loans. It is possible to have the generational wealth. It is possible for us to do everything that you read about. It is possible for us to do it. Somebody thought this wasn't possible. When I first said I'm going to do AfroEconomics, they said it won't work. Black folk don't have money. They don't want to do that. They just want to be entertained. They just want to, everything I bring, you all are strengthened from. Everything. And I never have been about, it has to be a certain number. As I was telling Patricia, I said, I don't care if it's 1 or if it's 2. I don't care. I'm bringing the message. I'm bringing the message.
Yes,
I
she
remember
did.
right? I was like, it's coming. I'm bringing it, and I'm bringing it with the same esteem as if the
Yes.
whole Coliseum is full, because I know what God's preparing me for. And that's what we have to all live our life that exact same way. I got $1. You got $1. So how am I gonna keep this dollar? What am I gonna do with this dollar? Well, just because you have $1 doesn't give you the right to waste it. There's this man that right at the corner, when you come into my neighborhood, he stands there every day.
Yes.
He stands there every day. So I the first time I saw him, like I pulled out some ones and stuff. I thought I'm not going to see this man again. Every time I go out, Mr. Hollis, he's out there.
Now he's your dependent.
Yeah. So look. So when I don't give him the money, he looks at me like, "That you my girl. You're supposed to be my girl. What is wrong with you?" But I want to. But now he's become part of my study, like part of my just psychology. Like if he would put that same effort into anything in life, like I can see like one day you do it because money is tight. But the next day, I expect you to be working in one of these businesses because there's businesses everywhere. Or you could be handing out water. Take that money, buy some water. He's not disabled by any means. This man is healthy. You can stand out there every day, walking, running, coming to get the money, you can do anything. So will you take that same tenacity that you put in begging and you put it in creating, we can really build some stuff. We can really
Exactly.
build some stuff. We can really
Exactly.
build some stuff. And we don't have to show off, flaunt, brag about, prove anything to anybody. So before I wanted to share this with y'all before y'all leave me. And this study about how we spend our money. And I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but this is by Nielsen, that survey company, and it says Black impact consumer categories where African Americans move markets. You know, that's a nice way of saying it. But all I saw was where we spend our money. Look at this, check this out. Where we spend our money. Now we represent 14%, 14% of the population, but 50% of dried vegetables and grains are purchased by us. That's diabetes. Baby food, 42%. Seriously? Seriously? Why really we don't really have to buy baby food? You know what I mean? We can get food, blend up food, but how are we buying 42%? So what are they doing with their babies? 42% of baby food. So because what? Most people have realized that baby food is not good for babies. Is that what it is? Baby food probably has a lot of sugar in it. Whatever it is, we
Yeah.
gotta stop. We gotta stop. We just need to get our vegetables, put them in the little smoothie blender, you know what I mean, and give it to the baby. Put them on the breast. We're good. Personal soap and bath needs. 41. Like I'm telling you, this is of all of the soap sold, we buy 40%. And 40% of the commercials about soap and Dove and all that do not include us. So we're like almost their majority of the purchasers of stuff, and they don't even have to sell it to us. They're, you know, it's like, but look at this one. Like the Pat, what did that person say? Somebody chatted something. And the shelf stable juices, what does it say?
I simply need 5% of that market. Yes, we are.
We're like what?
They need
What?
5% of that market.
Oh, what
Yes,
they
we are. Right. The percentage.
and the no, we're spending we are 37% of all shelf juices, drinks, sodas. You know, this would include sodas, I guess. 37% of them are bought by us. We are buying some stuff. We are spending some money. We are doing, you know what I'm saying? We're spending money. And then it's like, this is categories where the percentage of Black spending is greater in proportion to their population. Who said that?
Jenny,
Look at how this is all in our healthcare. I mean, our hair and beauty aids,
hair.
85%. But I mean, it says ethnic hair and beauty aids, 85%. I mean, that's kind of a stupid statistic because, I mean, who else should be buying Black hair grease and stuff? Like, I mean, we should be 85%. I want to know who's buying it. Like, who are these people? Who is the other 15%? But that's our stuff. So we should dominate that product. So, but women fragrances, 22%. Feminine hygiene, 21%. Men, 20%. Men toiletries. Personal soap and bath needs, 18%. But then it says up here, personal soap and bath needs were 41% of total spending attributable to consumers of color.
So
So
JB, that number includes Hispanics, Asians, and it had a little note underneath. Maybe that's why it's so high.
there's not that many of them though.
Consumers of color.
No. I think it's still majority us though. But the of that whole thing, like I don't know, but I don't the but yeah, it includes people of color, consumers of color, but then you come down and you just break out black, like, and then black, okay, then maybe black. This is just black, so it's just 18% of that 40 is us. I don't believe Asians and Hispanics are spending, you know what I mean, that much more. That like they're spending more than us on personal soap and bath needs. I believe that because we some clean people. We buy some bath stuff and some soap and some deodorant. Like it be our last dollar. We're gonna get that toothpaste and everything. Exactly. Look, everybody's be like, maybe I could just use baking soda. We be like, nope, gotta smell fresh. That's right. But so the question would be like, where, like, and so this one is the one that I was like, and that's why I want to start at least twice a month. I'm gonna start doing health and wealth discussions on Mondays at lunchtime. I want us to really think about, and the first topic I had chosen for December 7th, my daughter's birthday, because I know she's listening, the is to talk about organic food. Is it worth the price? What are you buying? And the I'm an exclusive organic food person, so I definitely look forward to researching that. So, or seeing the research that Pat brings to me. Well, we will definitely be researching on, and I'm gonna try not to have a biased opinion because I know my opinion. So I'm gonna say, Pat, like just send me whatever you find, and then I'll just have to let the chips fall where they may. Like I'll find out. What if I find out they go organic is a waste? You're wasting your money. I'll just be crying again, like I was with Verizon. I remember I used to buy this stuff called raw stevia in the raw. Have y'all ever seen that? And it comes in like a
Yeah.
big,
have.
it comes in a big bag.
Mhm.
So I was like, wow, this is so cheap. It's like I think it was like maybe $8 for the great big bag stevia in the raw. It is a big bag of chemicals.
Mm.
It is garbage. I was so mad when I turned it over and I realized that it is only like a smidgen of actual stevia in it. And they call it stevia in the raw. It is a huge chemical. That's it. Synthetic, made in the lab. I was making lemonade and everything with it. Oh my goodness. I was so mad. I was like scooping and scooping. Oh my goodness. So after that, I realized I can only do organic stevia if you're really trying to be true to it. But you have to be very careful on what, you know what I mean, we're reading and what we're getting. That's
Like
no,
me with
no.
those
How
gummies.
do you actually know it's organic unless you grow it yourself?
That's right. And then there are actual seals and labels. And look, and my philosophy is anything that says organic from whole food is organic, but that could be a lie too.
Yes.
So we're gonna research that because I might find out in the research that to put organic maybe only has to have 10% organic. I'm a scream and faint. But
Yeah.
there's certain, I know that there's certain guidelines, and it's not like that it has, I don't think that it has to actually be 100%. But we're gonna find out. But yeah, Maurice, you had to relog in. Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. But thank you all so much. I just wanted to look at that. Um, and then, as in our family, let's talk more. Let's talk more. Take advantage of anything that I can share. Please take advantage of the free membership. If you're not ready for the financial planning, do the free membership. Tell your family to do the free membership. I have a classmate that every week she's asking me for money, and I keep forgetting to tell her, please sign up for the free membership. I have got to figure out why she is so broke. I mean, she cannot get it right. We both started from the same place. Something got to give. Something got to change. And every time I give her money, Michael gets disappointed, so I can't even tell him. You know what I'm saying? It's like
He know
You
now.
just told
He
you
knows
just told
now.
him.
And I like, no.
You just
And then so
told
You
him.
like,
just told him.
I
He
know, and I
knows
feel
now.
so bad sometimes. And so, and sometimes she'll say, like, I need gas money. And I like so and so. I just feel so bad. I know. Oh my goodness.
It's your
It's just
heart,
so bad.
Jay. You know it.
Oh no. I know. And wish
But
you could get everything right. But look, that's the thing. That's the thing. Because I'm in a position to help her so much. The little bit of money that I'm giving her is nothing compared to the empowerment that I'm sharing.
But you're not
You say,
helping her.
you know what I'm saying?
You're
Yeah,
not
I feel like I am. You know what I mean? But it's only feeding her for a day. But I have information here that will feed her for life, that will
exactly.
feed her for life. Like she's so close. So I gotta work on that. I have to work on that. I would say, well, you know what? If you attend, you know what I'm saying? Because the last time she came to a meeting, she asked me for money right afterwards. You know what I mean? So I have to I have to be, you know what I'm saying? I have to be conscious of that. And I'm not judging by no means because of what I have been through is I have that place in my heart for her because I know how it is when you don't have what you need when you need it. But I know one thing that I do is I work and I work and
Yeah.
I work.
that's
And
what
not
she
one,
has to. That's what
yep.
she
And
has to
I'm not,
do.
yeah, not one time have I turned around and said, like, who can give it to me? You know what I'm saying? And I think that once we feel like the solution is outside of us, you know what I'm saying? Then that's where our power gets lost. Because there's a difference, you know what I mean? Empowerment is to give us the tools to create it for ourselves. You all can take this information and use it anywhere you want. That's why they say like education is power, things like that. But only if you use it to multiply, to add value to people's lives. People who add value to people's lives are never broke.
That's true.
Isn't it true? I
That is so
never
true.
broke. They always. Because people take care of people who take care of them. It's going to be all right. You continue to do right, continue to give and give some more.
Thank you, JB.
Thank you. You're so good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Yeah, I appreciate you all. Make sure that you email me at jb@jvbryan.com, jb@jvbryan.com, or jb@afroeconomics.com, or reply to any email you get from me. I'm just an email or call away. 1-844-522-7926. But Pat probably gave it to y'all all night long. He said, anybody in the workshop that doesn't know my number, it's crazy.